What we are doing today is it's basically a live one-on-one. So they're called Martha Fix My Business, but essentially what this is we find out about somebody's business and then we find out about a pain point and then we try to uproot it and fix it in 15 minutes or less. Sound fair? This is what I do on my one-on-ones and also my strategist. So if you were to go to withmartha.com and go up to strategist or one-on-one, either one, you would be able to see people that you can work with that will help you get unstuck in your own business, okay? So that is the whole focus of this. And so go ahead, Sydney, and let us know what your business is, like what you do, and then we'll get into what an issue or a problem area is with it.
Okay. So I help people transition off birth control naturally through like natural solutions and stuff. And I help them do that even if they don't think they can.
I love that.
So if they don't have confidence to get off, all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. And so what is the thing that you are having issue with right now?
There's a couple things. I was like, what's the one thing? Um, I know I have holes in the system.
Okay.
I'm trying to work on that. I think a lot of that is mindset, which I know you can't necessarily help with like in 15 minutes, but I think a big thing that I struggle with is not knowing what to necessarily like share about on a daily basis,
Yeah.
either in my group or online, like in social media. I'm not really doing the one-on-one or the lives every day on Facebook yet. I haven't quite gotten to that step. I'm trying to advertise it more just in my daily life and with Instagram and stuff. So I know that's a big hole, is not going live every day. But then when I do get people over into my group, I struggle like, oh crap, now what do I say and what do I offer them and all that stuff. And then
Yeah.
engagement's like not super there. So,
Yeah.
but I know there's holes for sure.
Yeah.
And then a big part of it, I feel like that's blocking me is the fact that it is a more medical type bat signal
Uh-huh.
with birth control and hormones and medication and stuff. And I am not a doctor. And I tell people that all the time. So I'm very clear about that. But I feel
Yep.
like sometimes that will trip me up is because people will see a random reel of me and they'll say, well, don't listen to her because she's not a doctor. And I'm like, okay, well, I've lived through this experience, so I know more than anyone what
Yeah.
it's like.
Do they
But that,
actually say that?
yeah, I've had one girl say, well, check with your doctor because she's not one. And I was like, oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I never said I was, so,
Yeah.
but
I feel like
yeah,
that's the deepest thing we need to talk about right now because that's the
yeah,
thing people are scared of. So there's what we how do I say this? There's the fears that we have, and then whenever people actually speak out those fears in front of us, it's like it's a thing where you're like, I knew that was going to happen, and then you're
yeah,
like, I don't want to make that happen again, so then I'm not. Because this other stuff that you mentioned is the system, and you do know how to do the system.
yes,
And so the reason why you're not doing the system is because one person said, well, she's not a doctor, check with your doctor, blah blah blah. There will always be those people. Those people exist everywhere. And the fun thing is that sometimes they'll be in your community at some point, and then you'll have,
yeah. Well, a
like,
lot of them are also family too. So I feel like it's not, it was just that one person publicly commenting, but then other people I will see. I mean, I'll see other people share very similar bat signals in the same thing, like check with your doctor, you're spreading misinformation, all that stuff, when they share about their experiences getting off birth control and how
mm-hmm.
it changed their life. And it's like, that's not misinformation.
My question for you is, who matters more to you? Do the people that are being loud and being the squeaky wheels matter more to you, or do the people that are really seeking help matter more to you? Because that is going to determine what you do moving forward. It truly is the only question. Because if your people matter more to you, then the squeaky wheel folks aren't, it doesn't matter what they say, it doesn't matter what they think. There's always going to be people that they go for the low-hanging fruit. The low-hanging fruit
Mm-hmm.
is, she's not a doctor, blah, blah, blah. and you don't want to come back in a social setting, you don't want to come back and say, well, it has been my life. You don't want to engage, because then whenever you engage, you're putting fuel on the fire and that sort of thing. What I have found to be true, and this happens over and over, it won't ever stop. What I have found to be true is that when we don't engage at all, when you don't even act like you saw the thing, you completely disengage and cut yourself off from the individual, they have no stank. They have no, like, anything that they can even pull from. You take
Okay.
all of their power away completely. So they're trying to cause a mess, but if it's happening on Facebook, hide the comment. Don't delete it, hide the comment, so they still think it's there, but nobody else sees it. And uh, and if it happens on Instagram, it's okay that the comment is there, just don't do anything with it. So I think what really needs to happen here is you need to remember who you are and who you're here for, because these people will always come up, and they're the reason that you're not doing the things that you already know how to do. So like I
Yeah.
already told you how to find the content and how to know what to be able to share and all of that stuff. You know it all. You know every single thing that you need to know in order to do this thing. It's seriously just, I don't want people to bash me, is kind of what it,
Yeah.
and I get it. I get it.
It's been a big struggle because I'm trying so hard to not care about what other people think of me. Like and it stems from childhood too. It's
Right.
not anything new. So it's a big thing that I'm getting better at it. I was struggling with it, but
Yeah.
it's improving slowly but surely. So just
Yeah.
remembering that I have worth and value aside from whatever anyone thinks of me. So
And that people need to hear from you,
yeah.
like they need to, or else they're going to stay. These people that are just saying, well, like, check with your doctor and blah, blah, blah. Listen, last time I checked with my doctor having to do with birth control, they did not give me an actual good solution. So there's
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, okay. But it's all right, friends. Go ahead and
Yeah.
check with those folks. Anyway, so what I want for you to move forward with is just remembering that the the people that so easily say check with your doctor, blah blah blah, all this low-hanging garbage, whenever they say that stuff, they're literally getting in the way of you helping your people. And so doing whatever you need to do in order to create space between you and those individuals, the ones that are, grabbing the low-hanging fruit, do it. I have blocked family members from social media. I have blocked friends from social media. Um, People that were no longer friends, that at one point seemed to be friends, I've blocked them from social media. Like, and it's not, sometimes it's not even because things they actually said, it's the vibe I get. And
Yeah.
it's weird, but I think everybody needs to hear this. If you know that these people exist in your audience, as you're talking, you are almost going to start talking to them instead of your people. It's almost
That's what I
like you
find
talk.
is like that defensiveness.
Yes, right. And so when
Yeah.
they're not in, when you've blocked them, you're talking to your people again. And you're not, they can't even see what you're talking about. And so you can be
Okay.
there in front of your people instead of, and I call it hollering for your worth, instead of doing that, instead of like this, like, you already said it.
Yeah.
It's like the defensiveness, prove my point sort of thing, where your people don't need you to prove your point. They just need you to tell your story. They just need you to tell them, like, here's what I did, here's what I did, here's what I did. But the moment that we block all of these people that we know are naysayers and that sort of thing, then we don't have that defensiveness whenever we come on for our people. That was actually, I'm really glad that came out today, because I think a lot of people need to hear that. Is that
Yeah.
helpful for you?
Yeah.
Do you think you can do it?
I am more and more realizing that I already am doing it and I can do it. I just have to keep going and stop listening to the haters and all that stuff.
There you go. Because they,
Because I
like
know so
everybody
many
that's,
people I can help.
that's it. Everyone that's listening to this, understand that the haters don't ever, and we call them haters, and sometimes it's really low level hate, and sometimes it's not even hate, but it's just kind of like, "Nyeh." And then sometimes it's like just venom. But either way, that doesn't ever go away. What we have to get better at is recognizing who those people are, because sometimes they're very manipulative and they will look one way and then you'll realize they're not, and you're like, oh gosh, I need to get them out. All right. And so you need to be able to have that discernment. That's a prayer that, I've had to start praying, is having discernment of who needs to be in, who needs to be out. Who are the people I need to get out of here so I can really just talk to my folks. And that's, I think that's for everybody. I think that's for everybody. Well, how do you feel? Because I think we're at 12 minutes. How do you feel right now on being able
I,
to move forward? Because the other stuff, the tactical stuff, you already actually know
yeah.
that.
I feel better.
Do you? Okay.
Yes.
What are you going to do today in response to this?
Um, well, we're on a little mini vacation, I guess, right now because my
Yeah,
boyfriend has a golf tournament out of town and there's a state park nearby that I'm going to go to with my dog and be out in nature and just remind myself of how awesome I am and how much knowledge I actually do have and how much potential that I have to help others.
I love it. I love it.
Remember my people.
Yes. Yes. If you guys are in HBR or you're in the Families Creating Legacies community, go ahead and give Sydney a shout out today. Show her some love. She's going through transition, and if you are also going through that transition, shout it out. Say that you are. Like, this is a community. It's for us all to be able to grow together, but then to also just have these light bulb and realization moments together, because it's the little stuff like this that will keep us stuck for our entire life, no matter what we know. So love you guys. Thank you, Sydney, for coming on and being vulnerable. I appreciate you so much,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Yeah, we will see you all later. Bye bye.
Bye.